I was just reflecting on how monumental that is.
Yeah, and to add to it, man, with radio, you would contact some technical guy and pay him to come in and get everything right. But we got brother Heru, so the brother is not called the African Renaissance man for no reason. So we didn't need that technical guy in the radio in the studio to come in and get things together for it. That's how technology has grown, man. It's kind of going to eliminate that technical assistance that you normally need with radio. We're no longer
Right.
probably going to need that. Thank you very much. Asante.
Yeah, so I'm looking right now, and we are definitely live. We're live on my channels, and that's my YouTube and my Facebook. And let me just check WSYP. And were you able to connect?
I think I'm live there, man. I
Okay, were
think
you able to press that blue button?
yes, yes, I'm live.
And I think after you press the blue button, you should be able to. Did it have you pick the channel?
Yes.
Okay, and were you able to? And then what does it say now on your page?
All right, I think I'm on. I think we're ready.
I see it.
Okay, because I'm on your Facebook and I don't see it.
All right, Red Pill, you do see it, correct?
What I do see is in the back office, I do see that you are connected and it does say that you are live.
No, you're live on this broadcast in terms of the StreamYard, where it's being broadcast on my channel and it's being broadcast on Phil's channel. But in terms of you distributing the broadcast on your own channel, I
I see it
don't
on
see
his
it.
Facebook as well.
Oh, you see it on his Facebook?
Yes, sir. I
Okay,
clicked on it.
which Facebook are you looking at? Does it say WSYP or does it say something else?
It says WSYP 95.1.
Oh wait, hold on.
Mhm.
It's green. Wait.
Yeah, yeah. You tuned in live, WSYPLP 95.1. Brother Red Pill. Brother Red Pill, you've been, once again, you've been doing this for some time now, at least
Yes.
5 years, brother. And outside of these programs, tell the audience about what else you do in programming or deprogramming.
Okay. So we began our journey in new media in 2005. I'm from New York. So I landed in Harlem and that began my journey. I started out really through Facebook. It began on Facebook. Well, before that is Black Planet, of course. We have to always mention the honorary Black Planet. And we started out with new media, just exploring the opportunities to reach our people through, through going around the middleman. It evolved into the beginning of YouTube, which was 2008. We started Know the Ledge TV. We graduated into Blog Talk Radio, which I tell people, in my humble opinion, was the first podcast program. It was the progenitors
Mhm.
to this evolution that we see in podcasts because it was faceless, it was audio only, a very intricate yet understandable back office, and yeah, that did beautiful things. And I would say that our breakthrough came through in the around 2013 and 14 when YouTube really began to develop as a broadcasting platform. They extended the 15-minute limit. There, you could go live. They had the live feature, and that really kicked it off. I began to experiment with something that I was researching called digital. It was called digital. It was like, basically connecting digital platforms, digital companionship, right? I'm looking for the term, but it's not pulling up right now. But I definitely was able to explore different networks by connecting with different platforms. One of the more famous platforms was House of Consciousness, Brother Sinetta via YouTube. And I was able to expand my network and, just expand the message via that channel. Also, Baba TV, honorable mention, Baba TV out of Syracuse, New York. He was very huge. 363 Empire, which was called Underground Radio back then, and then it turned into Black Magic 363, and also Key of Life Productions. So I do a lot of digital convergence and connect with all of those platforms. Now we have our platform, Know the Ledge Media and Know the Ledger
Man,
444. Huh? Yeah.
yeah,
So
you
that's
know,
pretty
I
much.
got him interrupt. I just have one of my listeners say, "Is that the brother Red Pill on the air with you all now?" Yeah, it is the brother Red Pill.
Yes,
It is
indeed.
that brother. It's the brother Red Pill, man. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you got him on live right now.
Yes, we
Yeah, yeah,
connected.
yeah, yeah. Brother Hakeem, right?
Indeed. So, Brother
That was
Anthony,
brother
can
Hakeem.
you tell my can you share with my audience Sankofa Revolutionary Radio and also WSYP 95.1?
Can I share? What
Can you
information you
share?
want me to share?
Yeah, can you just let the family know who you are and with the platform, how long you've been broadcasting so they could become familiar with you?
Yes, sir, I can. And it's my pleasure, brother. And Madase to you, brother Red Pill, for your Kazi continuously for years and decades, man, your service to the African community. So I want to say Asante Sana to you for that.
Honest.
And welcome aboard. If you listening to Brother Red Pill, I know where you are. I know where you stand. So you strong, and we welcome you aboard to Satco for Revolutionary Radio, which has been on the air, FM radio, been on the air approximately 10 years, going on 10 years now, 24-hour programming to deprogram our people. We got programs from Irritated Genie. He's on every Monday at 9 a.m. And that's at the 10 Eastern. Genie break things down. He's on the continent now, and he's going to be live next week here. And then we got Heru has graced us and given us his. I mean, you got to big ups to that brother, man. He don't have to give us
Big
his time,
ups.
but he said he give us the time 2 times a week, man. We saving lives and limbs with brother Heru with health results, man. Look, as you know, brother Red Pill, you know he produced some results in the way of healing our people, man, saving lives. I'm talking about the doctor, the white coat, has given these folks, weeks and months to live. And
Right.
brother, with this science and protocol testimony, he got the testimonies to prove it. So he bring those people, and not only like others out there, we don't call no name, but you got others out there who give you the protocol, but they don't give you the science and the testimonies along with it. So
Right.
brother give you those testimonies, and you can go to his testimony page out there, urbanresults.net. If you don't believe me, go there now, and you'll see all the testimonies, and he bring them here and to you live, and he do that program every Monday, saving results with brother Heru. And then we got Dr. Aleem who comes on and give us 2 programming. Black Agenda Report. We got up and down the 24-hour cycle of programming here on WSYP. So welcome aboard the audience of Red Pill.
Yes, yes. We're honored to be here. Thank you for having us. This is a match made in revolutionary heaven, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be doing this broadcast. We will be doing this program Mondays and Wednesdays. I did promise my audience that we were going to introduce a earlier broadcast, program. So this is our. I don't like to say the word morning, but this is definitely our rising meal for the day. Health on Mondays, wealth on Wednesdays, ladies and gentlemen, so we could get our strong. We don't call it a week either, so we could get our strong right. Okay. And of
Absolutely.
course, Brother Heru, the legend, needs no introduction.
Yeah, man, happy to be here. We got people tuned in to a good degree. Let's get busy, y'all. People tuned in because they want to hear about wealth results
Yes.
Wednesdays, and so let's get busy. And so we're just gonna start with a foundational story. So basically, I took some time a few well, I'd say probably over a decade ago, to study money, because what I found out is that economics is the science of choice, right? People think that economics is about money, and this is actually the science of choice. Uh, and when you don't have money, you don't have choices, right? So we want to be people with the most amount of choices possible, right? So economic freedom is non-negotiable, whether it's an individual or a group of people or family or a neighborhood. Or you want economic independence, you want economic flexibility, you want choices. And so when I endeavored to study money and what it really was, I kind of understood a few things. Either you're spending money or you're growing money. And so you're either someone who is focused on liabilities or you're focused on assets. And so traditionally, what has happened with our people, whatever country we live in, is that we will make money from income. And what is that income? Usually, it is hourly wages, right? So you're getting paid. Let's just come up with you're getting paid $20 an hour to do a job, and you work 40 hours a week. So that means that you're limited to $800 a week of income every single week. That's your 9 to 5 job, and this is how most people survive. And what happens is that you then have weekly expenses. These expenses would be, let's say groceries. They would be whatever bills that you may have. And the theory is that your expenses would be less than your income, right? So whatever you're spending per week should be less than what you're making. That then puts you in surplus. So that you may have, let's say, $200 a week left over, or $100 a week, or $50 a week left over, right? And the question is, what do you do with that surplus? Well, what we find out is that when we start evaluating what most people are spending, when you have when you look at the health of a company, you start looking at the ledger, and the ledger would have assets and liabilities on one side. And I always tell people to do this exercise, no matter how painful it may be to you. Just look at your spending for the week or the month and figure out what is a liability and what is an asset. In other words, what have you done with your money to make it grow, or what have you done to basically flush it in the toilet? In other words, and what I call flushing in the toilet is the basic spending that most people do, right? It doesn't cause your money to grow. It's just basically subsistence living, whether it be groceries or paying your car note or what have you. These are not assets. These are all liabilities. And so what you'll find is that 99% of people spend 99 to 100% of their money on liabilities. And if they do have anything left over, they would then put it into a savings account. This is what has been traditional for people, your mother, your father, your grandmother, your grandfather. They put money into a savings account. The question is, this money that you're saving, are you really saving that money? What do I mean by that? Well, you'd have to know about inflation. And what do we mean by inflation? Inflation is the depreciation of your monetary value. So you have a monetary value in 1980 of $20, which could buy you a whole shopping cart full of groceries. But that same $20 won't even buy you 3 items at the grocery store today. So what has happened is inflation has taken away your spending power. And inflation has actually eaten away at your wealth very slowly throughout the years. In other countries, it can be more dramatic, but in America, it happens. And you will see it in the rising cost of housing, right? We know that when something gets older, typically, and it gets worn and torn, the price should go down in terms of its value. But housing goes up, not because that same house that you had that's now 30 years old is more valuable. No, it's because your spending power has gone down. So now it takes more money to buy an older house than it did to buy that same house in the 1980s. 30, 40 years later, that house has been run down. There's been things that have gone on with the house. The pipes are old, whatever. But now that same house that was bought for maybe 100,000 in California, you know, 30 years ago is now being sold for $900,000. It's not because that house is more valuable, it's because your money has become less valuable. This is a very, very important thing for people uh, to look at, right? So when we start looking at money, we start looking at money in a very serious way in terms of the value escape of money. And this is very important because what inflation does is it makes your money less and less valuable and makes that same loaf of bread more expensive, right? There's nothing changed with that loaf of bread. That loaf of bread actually should be cheaper because as time goes and technology increases, the cost of production should be going down, right? And so that same loaf of bread is the same ingredients, but that loaf of bread is twice or three times more expensive than it was in the 1990s. And so what's happened is that if your wages don't increase commensurate to the price of inflation, you're actually losing more and more wealth and more money. So they'll say that the what they call CPI, with the Consumer Price Index, is around 3 to 4%, but in truth, it's around 8% per year, right? In terms of monetary expansion. So what is monetary expansion? Monetary expansion is what central banks do periodically. Whenever there is an increase in government spending, they end up printing more money. Anytime you're operating off a fiat currency that is backed by nothing but the confidence of the society, and also backed by military weapons, but not backed by any hard assets, what happens is that you have to keep printing more money. When you print more money, you have more money in the pool of monetary supply, and that money gets diluted. The value of the money gets diluted over time. So you can actually guess that you will guess accurately over time that the value of money will go down, right? That you'll have to use more money to buy the same item over time. And so what is important is to realize that. And once you realize that, then the question is, how do you position yourself? Well, traditionally, people have positioned themselves by putting money into a savings account. And so what I'd like to show people is Bank of America, for instance. And you can just go on Grok. What is the average rate? And Brother Phil, you can share this on the screen. Are you able to see this on the screen? Yes. So we go to Grok and I just ask Grok, what is the current rate that someone is paid by putting their money into a savings account in Bank of America? So as you can see here, standard, no preferred rewards or lowest tier is 0.01% APY. So Bank of America on your money over the course of a year will pay you 0.01%. What does that mean? Let's just do the math. So on $10,000, let's just say you had $10,000 in savings. We're just going to do the math on a calculator. $10,000. You just do it 10,000 times 0.01. $100. So we're talking about $100, but that's 0.01%, which comes out to 0.0001 times 10,000. It's $1. That's $1. So you put $10,000 in the bank and they're giving you $1 in return.
Wow.
A lot of people don't realize that.
That's right.
So the question becomes, with your money, what should you be doing with it? And we have to find out different tools. So now, when we look at the reverse engineering of success in many different societies, we find out if you're interested in, let's just say, being a great basketball player, what would you do, Brother Phil? Wouldn't you watch the uh, videos of the greatest basketball players and
All
study what
day.
they
I'll
did?
be all
Right?
day. I'll be watching the tapes.
Right. So if you're not interested in being poor, wouldn't you study what wealthy people did to become rich? Right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I can add on
So
to that as well too.
yeah, and please do.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just setting the table for this analysis, right? Because a lot of people don't do the math. Um, if you want to be wealthy, you would study the wealthy people and you would study their stories to how they became wealthy, and you start asking certain questions. So here's the question you would ask. If you want to be an NBA player and you're a kid, you might want to study Stephen Curry. You might want to study LeBron James, Michael Jordan, right? You want to study the best, those who've been most successful in that field. So if you don't want to be poor and you want to be wealthy, at least to have choices in life, economic choices, you'd study those who've been wealthy. And so here's what we find out about wealthy people. There are three main avenues to wealth, to people who becoming millionaires. And those three avenues are: number one, business ownership, real estate, and stocks. Those are the three. And within stocks, we can put in cryptocurrency, right? But those are the three avenues in which people have become wealthy. So then, if you want to reverse engineer success, because this is the exercise I went through, if I want to reverse engineer success, what avenue makes the most sense for me to engage in to become wealthy? It has to be one of those three. I'm either going to be business, and it can be all three of those three, but you have to engage in at least one of them if you want the greatest chance to be wealthy. So it's business ownership, real estate, and stocks. Okay. So now let's look at the effort that would be necessary for all three. And then you can tell me which one you would want to choose based on the effort. Okay. So let's say you have a business. With that business, you have an initial investment, just like with everything, right? You have initial investment. You may have a product. So with that product, you're going to need some type of, development of that product, market research, customer service, shipping, all, types of maybe compliance issues, what have you. Now you've got to move that product, and maybe you have employees that you hire, and you have to manage employees and, deal with, certain taxes and what have you, right? So there's a lot of moving parts in having a successful business that would make you a millionaire, right? There's a lot of moving parts. Probably we could name about 10 to 15 moving parts. So I run a successful business. And there's a lot of different moving parts. And there's also a time window for your business to become successful. It doesn't become successful overnight. Of course, there could be many failures along the way, right? There's a lot of moving parts. All right. Now, real estate. I've been someone who's bought real estate in different parts of the world, right? Well, with real estate, you're going to need a down payment at least. And then you might mortgage that real estate if you don't pay all cash. And to get a property, you're going to need a property appraiser. You're going to need a surveyor. You're going to need an inspector. You're going to need a title company. You might have a lawyer. You might have a real estate agent. And then you're negotiating, with the buyer or the seller. You're doing all types of things. So there's a lot of pieces. Then there's taxes involved in real estate as well. So if you own a property, you're going to be paying property taxes. So there's a lot of moving parts with real estate as well. And the other part of real estate is that when you want to sell the real estate, it's not liquid. So you're not able to sell it right away. However, you can get loans on your real estate, and that's something that we can talk about. But you're not able to liquidate your real estate right away. And there's been people I know who have $1 million properties, and it's been in the market for over a year, and they haven't been able to sell it, right? So You still have a price of entry in terms of a down payment. If it's a commercial property, it's about 20% down payment. If it's a single family home that you're going to live in, you can play the HUD game where you can pay 3% down. This is just for America. This isn't for outside of the country. It's you even have to come up with more money. So this is real estate now, right? But you can have it over time. And let me just go to the third thing. So with stocks, I know we have a caller. So with stocks now, you would buy the stocks. You don't need a lawyer. You don't need to have a shipping situation like you would have, like, with products. You don't need to market. You don't actually have taxes until you sell a piece of stock. And you'd have capital gains taxes of around 15%. So it's even cheaper. You can sell it right away. It's immediately liquid, right? So you can buy a stock, you can hold on to it for a year, you can sell it a year later, and it's an immediate sell. You don't have to wait for a year. You don't have all these middlemen involved like you do in real estate. You don't have to have employees like you do with a business. You don't have to do marketing like you do with a business. You don't have to do customer service like you do with a business. You don't have to pay real estate taxes. You don't have to have property manager. You don't have tenants who maybe don't pay you on time. Evictions you don't have to deal with. You don't have to fix toilets. Toilets now. There's a lot dealing with real estate. Okay. So now that I've said all of this, if you were to become if you could become a millionaire with one of those three things, what route would you choose? I'm asking you, Red Pill. I'm asking you, Brother Anthony.
Oh, it's clear, man. It would be with the stock market.
Yeah, right. We'll go with the stocks, hands down.
Yeah, because it's less headache.
Headache.
It's less headache and it has more of a plus side.
Oh, and I can bear witness to it. So yeah.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, the easiest money I've ever made is in the stock market, right. With the least headache. With real estate, I have to deal with too many people. Right. Selling the property is difficult. You have to deal with too much. Then you have these taxes that you have to pay all the time, right? Okay. Notice that with all three of these endeavors, you can take loans against your business. You can take a loan against your real estate, and you can take a loan against your stocks. A lot of people don't realize that. So wealthy people don't even sell their stocks. They take loans against their stocks. Guess what happens when you take a loan against something valuable? It's a non-taxable event. So this is how wealthy people make money, y'all. What they do is that they have an asset, and then they get a loan against their asset. Any bank you go into, they have a securities department that they don't tell people about. But they have a little back office called a securities department. You can go with your stock portfolio and you can get a loan against your stock portfolio at a very, very low interest rate. And this is what wealthy people do. And we can cover the math in another show. But the question is that if you could choose to become a millionaire in any one of those three avenues, which one would you choose? And the person who wants the least amount of headache would choose stocks. And so then the question becomes, how do we become wealthy in stocks? And this is what I evaluated. And we're going to look at the difference between saving $10,000 in Bank of America, which is going to give you 0.01% return, which we just saw, which ends up to be $1 per every $10,000. And then what would have happened if you would have just invested in certain stocks in the stock market? And we're going to go over those numbers. But right now, what I want to do is I want to take, I guess we have a call waiting.
Yeah, I need to do the station identification. We're at the top of the hour, and I'll extend the program a little longer. But you're listening to WSYPLP 95.1 Sankofa, Revolutionary Radio. We got Farmer John. Farmer John, you want to break some news this morning. You heard what Brother Heru said. You got a statement, question?
Well, man, what Brother Heru is putting out there, I love. And I want to say right now, I know that he hit me up the other day, and I need to get with him for a meeting on Thursday. So I'll call him, talk to him about that later. But, another thing was I'm hearing what you guys are doing by networking together. And, I've suggested this before, and I'm just happy to see it happen. And any way that I can bring my network in and the people that I work with in, because this is what I'm pushing with them as well. It's not about, as I've always said, being in competition with each other, but being in support of one another. And so, with the events that has gone on with the government and everything, them removing this DEI stuff, which has affected a lot of Black companies, we need to go in and work together and build our own. So I just want to throw a thumbs up to you guys on that. And then listening to Heru talk about the stock market and getting loans and stuff, and what he's talking about with the not farmland, but just land, period, owning property. What he's talking about is so very true. And then there's also so many different ways that they come in and attack our land, especially that devalues what we put into it, such as redlining, running different types of development through our properties that call it eminent domain.
That's right.
They attack our heirs' property.
Right.
And so, I'd just like to learn how I can get in on this stock options that he's talking about.
Right. Yeah. Because we recently had some tips, couple of weeks. Already made some gains. I'll let Heru bring that up though. Thank you. But hey, brother Heru, touch on the fact that the brother want to bring in his audience as well. And thank you, Farmer John Jameson.
Yeah, I mean, we can start doing like compounding.
That's
so
right.
Anyone who's got a network and you want to have this broadcast, we just give you the StreamYard link, and then you're able to broadcast it to your channels.
That's right.
So I mean, we can do this. We could have 100 people on, and we're doing this for the benefit of our people, because this is information that our people's not getting. Like, you have to understand, like, any dollar that you have is depreciating in value. Like, when I use these words, I use them very specifically. So there's depreciation, and then there's depreciation of money. Like, depreciation is like the complete, is like, kind of like the downward movement of the money in terms of the value. The depreciation of the money is like, it's actually starting to become useless.
That's right.
Because what happens when something is deprecated is that, and this is what happens is that once you have inflation, and inflation increases over time, that money starts becoming worthless.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we've seen it happen in different societies, in Argentina, where overnight a loaf of bread costs $1,000. Okay, that's the complete depreciation of the money. And it can happen in America as well, particularly when we start understanding the news around the world's getting off the petrodollar. The main reason why America's money was so strong was because of the petrodollar. The petrodollar created a demand, and the petrodollar was, the United States have an agreement with Saudi Arabia, which is really a forced agreement, that all oil from the Gulf region would be bought in US dollars. So that means that anyone who needed oil for their infrastructure in their factories and their development in the world, and you're getting from the Gulf states, you had to exchange your local currency for US dollars, which creates a demand for the US dollar, which then increases the rise in the value. But if the US dollar is no longer a petrodollar, guess what's going to happen to the demand for the dollar? It goes down, which means the value of the dollar goes down. So, these are conversations that we need to have for people to be able to think about these things correctly. But because this is a new audience, I want to lay down the framework. And what I want to do is I want to show you all something.
Right. Before you do that,
yes.
Before you do that, Farmer John Jameson, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from my farm right now in Lyle Station, Indiana.
All right.
And Lyle Station is one of the last remaining African-American settlements in Indiana.
All right.
Yeah, Farmer John, I contacted you. Let's get together, because I just need the list of produce that your farmers can grow, and I have buyers.
Okay.
So I just need a price list from you. How much you guys can grow? We're looking for onions, tomatoes, garlic, and kale. We're looking for if you grow peppers, anything that you guys can grow. Please let me know. We're looking at container loads, so we're looking at tons. This is a separate conversation, but we know we talked about this a couple weeks ago. So if you can give me the list of what you guys can grow, when the harvest would be, and give me a price point, I can arrange the shipping because I have buyers who would love to buy from black farmers.
All right, Brother Heru, let's go up to
Yes.
Chicago and talk to our brother Kevin. Brother Kevin, 773, you on
Yes.
with Brother Heru and Red Pill. By the
Yes.
way, Red Pill, your audience, if they want to call in and be heard, the telephone number is 205-417-7552. That's 205-417-7552. Brother Kevin, you on with Brother Heru.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, and Brother Anthony, you asked me to call in, and I told you I'm always listening because I'm trying to learn something. But you asked me to call in today, and I'm calling in.
Yeah.
I am from Chicago, and I have communicated with Brother Heru in the past. I'm one of his investors earlier on, and I'm here to learn. So that's the whole thing.
Yeah, and I think you listened to Brother Heru a couple of weeks ago, and you bought stock based on his tips, correct?
Yes, I did.
All
Yes,
right.
I did.
All right. So,
But I'm still trying to learn. Still trying to learn that process.
but you had a question about Robinhood, and that's the reason I wanted you to ask Brother Heru in regards to your question in regards to Robinhood account.
I don't recall the question I would have. Right now, I had to redo my password, so I'm working on that right now. But I can't think of any other question except which way to invest. The best thing to invest in.
Okay, we're about to get into it right now. Red Pill, are you ready for this? Sankofa Radio, you all ready for this?
Yes, real quick. I do want to get the number correct. Is it 205-417-2152?
417-7552.
Okay.
205-417-7552. Thank you, bro.
All right. Yes,
All
we're
right.
ready.
All right, let's get busy, y'all. I want people to pull out a calculator. And, people argue with words a lot, but when you start talking numbers, it's hard for people to argue. So I like to talk numbers so that I don't have to get into arguments with people, right? I want y'all to look at if you would invested the same $10,000 that you would have put into a savings account with Bank of America that's going to pay you $1 per year, right? We already saw that 0.01%. So let's just say that you understood what's happening in the world and you understand what the future looks like. So you know what companies are doing what, right? So let's just take NVIDIA, which I've been an investor in for some time. NVIDIA is the largest company in the world now. It wasn't that case 5 years ago or 2 years ago. They basically they make microchips and computing hardware. And what you want to do is I'm going to share the stock history in terms of prices. So now we're gonna start doing some math, y'all. And math is the only thing that really matters. This is it's a bright white, but I would like to change what it looks like a little darker. But can y'all see this? You can share my screen, Brother Phil.
I can't see it.
Okay. Y'all see this?
Yep, we got it. Robinhood.
Got it.
All right. So if you'd invested in NVIDIA 1 year ago, Brother Anthony, can you tell me how much of a percentage you'd have made on your money?
I'm not at Robinhood yet, brother.
No, just look at the screen.
Yeah, let me blow
Or
it
you
up.
can go to Robinhood. or everyone can do this. Robinhood is an app you can download. It's free.
61%, damn near
Yeah.
62.
61.9%, about 62% for the year. Right? Okay. That means that in the year, if you'd have kept $10,000 in, and I'm just using 10,000 so people can understand what's going on. It could be 1,000, it could be 100, but just understand what the numbers look like. I'm just saying $10,000 because $10,000 is what gets you $1 out of Bank of America. So I want you to compare $1 with over, for $10,000 savings, $10,000 in NVIDIA a year ago today, you would now have $16,000 because it's 60%. 60% of $10,000 is $6,000. So now compare having $16,000 to $10,000 in $1. $10,001. Do you see the difference?
I'll say.
So this is why people keep getting wealthy. Now, let's go to 5 years. What does it say for 5 years investing in NVIDIA?
Man, over $1,000, $1,200, my brother.
1,200%.
1,200%. I'm sorry.
Yes. So 1,200%, that gives you 13x. So that means that for $10,000, you would now have $130,000.
Wow.
If it's Bank of America, $10,000 for 5 years would have given you $5. I want to look at everyone in the eye now. Does everyone see the difference now?
Yes, sir.
Does everyone see the difference now? That if you would have invested $10,000 in NVIDIA 5 years ago,
Right.
that's 2021. Everyone remembers 2021. That was COVID.
Right. The lockdown.
Yes, you'd have $130,000 now.
Wow.
But if you kept that money in Bank of America, you'd have $10,005 now.
That's a travesty.
Okay, now here's the thing. Please realize that it's actually not the $1 that you're getting, because the price of inflation is 8% every year. That means that you've lost a value. If they're paying you 0.0001%, you've lost in other words, you've made 0.0001 on your money, which is that $1. But out of the 8% that you lost, let's just look at 8%. Because this is the loss in monetary value every single year because of inflation, which is around 8%. So let's just do the math. 10,000. This is your spending power times 0.08. That means that you've lost $800 in spending value every year on that $10,000. But you gained $1 by putting it in a savings account. That means that you're at a $799 deficit every single year with that $10,000 because the inflation rate is 8% every year. Does everyone see how this works? This is why the poor keep getting poorer and the rich keep getting richer, is because your spending power goes down every year. The price of everything goes up by 8%, which means that you're actually losing spending power by 8%. And on that $10,000, that $10,000 is now $9,200 in terms of the value of the money. But the bank has paid you $1. But you've lost $800 of value.
Right.
Which means that every year you're losing money, you're losing money, you're losing money. That's why they don't teach us investing.
That's right.
This is very important for people to realize. This is why we're doing this show. Therefore, if you are not putting your money in an asset that is growing at least more than 8% a year, you're losing money.
Right.
Because you've got to outpace the rate of inflation. The fact that many of you are hearing this for the first time, this isn't hard to understand. But the fact that you're hearing this for the first time means that you're living in a society that doesn't want you to thrive. that wants to keep you in poverty. And the fact that some of you are seeing these numbers for the first time, so let's go to another company. Let's go to Amazon. Amazon is a company that most of the people listening to right now, if you're in the United States, because I know we have listeners all over the world through Sankofa Radio. Amazon, if you invested in Amazon last year, at this time last year, let me share the screen. Compared to putting your money in Bank of America, because most of you all shop with Amazon, and so you're making Jeff Bezos money for the convenience of getting delivered your products, in a day, right, or on the same day. Mm-hmm. But most of you have what you would call what I call an unequal relationship with companies. That means that you're giving them money, but you're not making money from them. You're giving them time of attention, and you're not making money from them. Like Facebook. Many of you all are on Facebook or on YouTube all the time, and you're giving them all of your time, which translates into money, because attention translates to money because they can sell more advertising. Do you have some type of relationship that is not abusive with these companies? In other words, why is it that you are always giving them money and attention, but you're not getting anything back? I believe in what you call equal relationships. So with Amazon, I invested in Amazon some time ago, and I've shopped on Amazon. I've actually done business. My products have been sold on Amazon. I don't sell on Amazon anymore, and that's a whole different show unto itself. I could do a whole show on Amazon, selling on Amazon as a business person, and the pros and cons of that. And that might be useful. I might do that one of these days, right? But let's go to Amazon right here. And if you look at Amazon, for 1 year, you'd have made 12% of your money, right? That means that $10,000, you'd have 12% on $10,000. So 10,000 on that 12% times 0.12. So you'd have made $1,200 in 1 year off of Amazon on $10,000, and compare that to the $1 you'd have made with Bank of America. But let's just say 5 years. 5 years, you'd have made 38%. So you'd have made $3,800 off of Amazon in the last 5 years. But let's say you invested in Amazon when it first started. The max. You're looking at 6,800%. Mm-hmm. That's 70x. 70x means that $10,000 would now be $700,000. Do you see why the wealthy keep getting wealthy? Right. $10,000 from the beginning of Amazon, which is, what's the date there? What's that, February 9th? 2000. So 25 years ago, if you put $10,000 into Amazon, you'd have $700,000. That'd be a 70x. Okay? Let's look at another company. Let's look at Tesla. Electric vehicles. Okay. 1 year in Tesla, you'd have made 42% on your money. $10,000 would now be $14,000. 5 years, you'd have made 83% of your money. That $10,000 would be $18,000. From the beginning of Tesla, which was, and I'm an early investor in Tesla. I invested in 2015, and I gave Brother Anthony, we had a phone call. You could tell people about that phone call, Anthony. This is 2010. So if you invested in Tesla from 2010, 15 years ago, you'd have made 30x on your money.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. And I did at the time, NVIDIA.
29,000. No, actually, no, it's not 30x. I'm sorry. You'd have made 300x on your money.
300x? Wow.
300x. So that 10,000 would be $3 million now.
Wow.
From 2010. 15 years ago, if you'd have put $10,000 into Tesla, you would have $3 million now.
Wow.
Okay, I'm not like these are just the numbers.
Right, right. They don't
Okay,
lie.
they just are what they are. And so what I'm trying to tell people is this: is that the system that we're living in has wealthy people making money quietly, while poor people are just making money through wages. Okay, so now I want you to know that Bill Gates was an early investor in Google. And I'd like you to see the numbers, because what you have to realize is that all these billionaires mainly are billionaires through their stocks.
Yep.
Okay. And there is a story into his Google investment. I believe that he was one of the first investors in Google before Google went public. And he invested $250,000 into Google. And I want to just tell you how much that is worth in terms of the Google investment. And there's an article about it. I need to find it. But let's just say that $250,000 has turned into a couple $1 billion. Okay. No, it's not Bill Gates. It's Bezos. I'm sorry. It's Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos Google investment. I just want you all to see the article. So, okay. All right. This is from an article from 2022. And this is how the wealthy people get down. Because if you want to be wealthy, you should study what wealthy people do. If you want to be a basketball player, professionally, you should see what the best basketball players do in terms of their training and how they play the game and what have you. Is that a lot of us, we're focused more on celebrity gossip than we are really understanding how wealth moves. And the thing is that the same brain capacity that we use to absorb useless information is the same brain capacity we can use to absorb useful information. All right, check this out. So you can share this screen, brother Red Pill. Do you see the title, The Story of Jeff Bezos' $250,000 investment into Google in 1998?
Yep, we got it.
Okay. Anyone can look this up. And essentially, what it says is that he invested $250,000 in his personal money into Google. And now, today, as of 2022, when this article was written, is worth over $1.5 billion.
Wow.
Do you see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And this is how wealthy people grow their money. So when they get money, they're looking to buy assets. Okay. When a lot of us get money, we're looking to buy liabilities. We see it with our athletes. We see it with our entertainers, is because no one has ever sat down and had this conversation. And the thing is that you don't have to be a wealthy person to buy stocks. You can buy a stock for as little as $1, but they've never told you that, right? So our only conversations should be looking towards the future, because the ability to accurately predict the future is actually one of the highest markers of intelligence, right? A lot of us tune into the show. Personally, a lot of us think that we're so smart. But how has our smartness transferred over into the economic health of our families, right? Because if we're smart, we should be using our intelligence to advance ourselves and our families. So if you haven't been able to do that, that means that your intelligence hasn't been used in a way that's beneficial to you. Okay? And what I'm saying is that all of us can learn this. I'm self-taught on this. And I know that the educational system doesn't teach anything, because I have friends of mine who have MBA degrees and are professors of economics who call me and ask me for investment advice because they weren't taught this in school. They're living off of a salary. They their investment is just a 401k that someone else invests for them. And when they want to pull out their 401k money, guess what? They're penalized for it. So when we see something like Bitcoin happening in 2010, most people thought it was a Ponzi scheme. But I was able to read the Bitcoin white paper and made all the sense in the world to me, because I understood that these people keep printing money, which means that money is going to be devalued. And they capped Bitcoin at 21 million Bitcoins. So it was actually programmable money that's capped. That solves the inflation problem. So I thought that was very interesting. Then I see that you can deliver money value, $1 million for a few dollars. And I'm somebody, who has family that lives in different parts of the world. And I know people, from the Caribbean and people from Africa who are always sending money home. And they're using Western Union, they're using MoneyGram, and they're being charged almost 10% on their money. And I'm saying, well, Bitcoin actually solves that problem. I can send Brother Anthony, I could be in Ghana and send Brother Anthony in Alabama $1 million, and the cost is $1. And I needed no middleman. I didn't have to go through a bank. I've tried to send money to build a house in the Caribbean, and MoneyGram has actually banned me. You know that? I don't know if I've ever told you that story, Brother Anthony.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, I'm banned from doing business on MoneyGram.
Just
I was
wiring.
sending so much money. I was sending so much money to the Caribbean that they said that it was suspicious activity, and they won't let me send any more money on MoneyGram. I'm banned.
I'm sure many of us have the PayPal horror stories. I don't even want to get into that, but yeah, we theoretically should not. In their eyes, we should not be moving amounts of money like that around.
That's right.
It's horrible. Just when you think about having to wire over $10,000, like you have to wire money, and it takes a long time sometimes. Don't have to do something on the weekend. You're really in problems.
That's right. That's right. Hey, and you're right, Brother Heru. You mentioned Bitcoin and athletes. Hear this story of Russell Okung. He, a football player, I think he was and is. He requested half of his $13 million salary in Bitcoin, and that was in 2020 when Bitcoin was around $13,000. Right. And he turned that, I think it may have 2x, damn near 3x, to 20 million in 2024.
Absolutely. I mean, I can, you could tell people about our phone call that we had about 5 years ago, but I've been posting on Facebook since 2011 that people should buy some Bitcoin.
That's right.
I've been doing it repeatedly since 2011. I got in Bitcoin when Bitcoin was under $100. So I was just buying Bitcoin. Every time I'd get some money, I'd put a little aside and buy some Bitcoin, buy some Bitcoin, buy some Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. Well, my holdings in Bitcoin allowed me to start a construction company in Africa. Without having to get any loans from the bank. No, like I didn't have to borrow any money from the bank. Whatever. I mean, there's different ways that you can do it. But the point of the matter is that many times our people are last when it comes to investing. It really shouldn't be that way. And this is what my point is that you don't have to invest if you don't want to, and you can find different vehicles. But the point of the matter is that if you're only making money from a 9 to 5, if you're only making money from wages, you're going to be perpetually poor because they will not pay you. First of all, they don't pay you what you really make for the company.
That's right.
And the payment increases that you get will not meet the rate of inflation. Mm-hmm. So you're in a vicious cycle. And if no one has ever shown you how to take some of your surplus income and to curtail your spending on trash, things that are liabilities, and put it into a growth vehicle, we've seen that like $10,000, you'd be, having $3 million if you invest in Tesla in 2010. Like these numbers are real, and I can do company after company after company after company and start showing this. And so the point of the matter is that, look, man, we can talk about all the problems that we have. We can talk about how the system is unfair and this and that. But these things are out in the open that anyone can partake in. And I've been able to do it for myself. And people who know me have seen me making these posts over the years. Now, I do want to do a little housekeeping. As of now on Facebook, there's somebody impersonating me on Facebook. And I put a post out, but somebody's impersonating me on Facebook. And what they're doing is they have my image. They have started their own page that says Heru Ofori-Atta on it.
What?
And what they're doing is they're contacting people. Like if you make a post on your Facebook, they'll reply to your post and say, great post or something, inbox me. Then when you inbox the person, they're asking you about trading. Because I guess this person has found out about what I do in terms of trading. And then what they try to do is they want to induce you to give them money to trade. And I'm never going to ask you for money. Like, just know that it's not me. I'm not online telling you to inbox me. I don't do that. I don't need to do that. And so somebody is trying to scam right now. And so what you have to do is that you have to just click and make sure whether it's me or not. And what you'll see my Facebook page, I've changed my image, my face image to King Tut. And you will see that I have like over 5,000 friends or something like that. And you would know that that's me from the post that's being made. This person has spam posts on their page. And I've reported to Facebook, and I guess I'm going to have to go to other authorities to deal with this person. So I just want people to know that if you're being hit up on Facebook and the person says, inbox me, that is not me. I don't ask anyone to inbox me. I don't do random inboxes on people on Facebook. I just don't do that. Okay.
So I just happened to me, 2023. I call it the attack of the clones.
Yeah.
I had about 5 pages, and they all had over 5,000 followers, and they were being fleeced, you know. So that is real. Phishing, PHISH, the phishing scams. I actually got caught by one of those in 2023. They were able to clone a person's voice, and they called me on Instagram as that person with the voice and everything. Got me for $500. One of my ex-managers, or I assumed was my ex-manager, but it wasn't.
Wow.
So yes, ladies and gentlemen, with the technology that has upgraded, you have to be very, very careful. The scams are, the scams have been upgraded.
Yep, that's what's going on. And just wanted people to know that it's not me. I'm not ever going to ask you to inbox me. And I'm never going to ask you for money online. If anything, you will just know about my websites that I have up, which is herutrades.com and herbalresults.net. And also have my property development, 25th Dynasty. But, you contact me directly. And even if you want, if you are ever skeptical, just ask that person to go on WhatsApp video with you and make sure it's me. Because what they do is they find out, who's got some motion, and then they try to piggyback off that motion and scam people. So that's what's happening. But we do these live sessions because it's very necessary. And just for people to know, listen, this is going to be every week. On Mondays, we're going to be doing health. We're going to be covering, high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, all those things, and showing you the evidence of us reversing those diseases with live call-ins of people who reverse their problems with the Herbal Results Protocol. But then we're going to also do wealth, where we're going to talk about stock investing. We're going to talk about real estate. We're going to talk about business development. But I need people to understand certain fundamentals. And none of this is theory, by the way. So a lot of people who talk to you about wealth, a lot of the conversations are theoretical conversations. Everything that I'm saying, I'm going to show you the numbers so that you can then make your own conclusions. I'm never going to tell you, hey, I think you should invest in this. I think you should invest in that. I tell you what I'm invested in. And then what I do is I'm able to show you the numbers over time. So if I tell you, hey, I understand what's going on with oil right now. I understand what's going on with the Straits of Hormuz being closed, and a good percentage of the world's oil coming from there. And I know that Donald Trump is very skilled at bankrupting things. And so I know that the price of oil is going to go up, and that he's going to be very skillful in bankrupting America, because that's what he's done with his companies in the past. And so because I know this, I know that the price of oil is going to keep going up. And so I have a position on oil. So the difference between those who invest and those who are victims of the news is that you are a perpetual consumer. So when you hear that the price of oil is going up, you see that as, man, my pocket's about to be hurt at the gas pump. But when I hear the price of oil is going up, as an investor and someone who trades, I see it as an opportunity to make money off of oil going up. So we're in two different worlds. And if you are a perpetual consumer, you will be a victim of whatever these wealthy people and politicians decide to do. And so I'm going to show you all, some of the positions I've taken with the news that exists. And I've covered the Straits of Hormuz in our last thing. You can go on Red Pill's Know the Ledge and Know the Ledger, our last live that we did last week, Red Pill. And I went through the maps. I went through everything. So I'm not going to cover that in detail right now. But what I can do is I can surely give you an update in terms of show and prove where we were in terms of our investments and our positions that we took. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share you my Forex charts, because I know that the price of oil will be going up. I took a position on oil, and I'm going to show you where we're at. Brother Red Pill, do you remember last time when we were on live last week, how many pips I was up with?
I believe 1,200.
Yeah, so we started at 800, right?
But yeah, it went from 800, and while we were on the show, it was actually moving in real time, and we ended on about 11 to 1,200 count on your pips, and we were asking for Gladys Knight.
Gladys Knight. Okay, now are you able to see my screen?
Not yet, though, brother. Go ahead. We are now.
It's shared.
Yeah, that's not the screen. Let me go to the other screen, y'all. Let me stop sharing that one, and let me share this one. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
You see it now?
Not yet.
Yep.
We'll bring you on in a minute. Yeah, you're on.
Okay. We see that this is U.S. oil. You can see right here, U.S. oil, Hugo's Way. That's my trading platform that I use. Brother Red Pill, can you tell them where I'm at right now? In terms of
we
pippage?
are currently at 44,000 pips, ladies and gentlemen. I mean 4,400.
Yes, so 4,400 pips.
Wow.
Yes. Wow. So I have 4x'd my money. I've made 4 times my money since we spoke last. What was it, Friday?
Right.
Yep.
So it's been a little bit over a week. I think a week and a half. So in a week and a half, is it been a week and a half? Or about a week, right?
We went on Sunday, if memory serves correct, last Sunday. So we're at a week and change.
Okay. So this is what I'm saying. This is why people the rich get richer, because I'm looking at the news and I know that Trump is going to bankrupt America with the price of oil and the price of what he's doing in Iran. So instead of being a perpetual victim of oil prices, knowing that oil prices are going up, and this is the thing, every single person who's tuned in and watching the news knows that the price of gasoline is about to go up.
Right.
Everyone knows that. But 99% of the people who know this don't know what to do with that news, but to know that they're going to pay more at the gas station.
That's right.
Why is it that your society has not prepared you to make money off of this event? Why has your educational system not prepared you to make money off of this event? Where when you hear that the price of oil is going up and you know it's going up, the first thing that comes to your mind is you're about to pay more at the gas station. But the first thing that comes to my mind is I'm about to make some money.
Right.
You see, this is what I'm saying is that this is the transition that we would have to make based on our thinking, because the educational system is not set to make you thrive. The educational system is not set to make you thrive economically, and it's not set to make you thrive in terms of your health.
Mhm.
We cover that on Mondays. I ain't gonna get into health today. But the same poverty road that they have you on in terms of your economics is the same poverty road of health that they have you on in terms of, your well-being. And so if you are doing what most people do, you're going to get the results that most people get, which is terrible results. So you've now got to reposition yourself into doing something different. And doing something different means that when you hear the news of something about to happen and you know that the prices of XYZ is about to go up, you can actually put money into it and you can make money. So right now, and remember, Iran told the world that the price of oil is going to be $200.
Mm-hmm. He did.
Okay, the price of oil right now, according to US oil chart, is at $100. So if right now from $94 to $100, I have 4,000 pips. When it gets to $200, I could probably just do the math in front of y'all right now. Okay, look at this candle. This is when the war started. This is actually when Netanyahu visited Trump. I knew something was going to happen because he's a destroyer. I knew there's going to be war. So people would have known to get in. So I waited for the price to settle and then got in here. So you see that I'm in wild profit here. But if I'm to take it to 200 pips, even 150, I can go to 150 now from my entry. I'm just about to show you the amount of pips it is. Okay. I should be able to tell you all a number. All right. Okay, here we go. To 150. And let's just say I'm already at 100 to 1, so that's 50. Okay, so that's 63,000 pips. So 63,000 pips, and I'm in 5 trades, would be 300,000 pips times 2, 600,000 pips. So by the time that oil hits $200, I should be at 600,000 pips.
Wow.
And I'm at 4,500 now. And each pip represents a monetary value, which I'm not going to get into because I don't want people all up in my pockets.
Right.
But the point that I'm trying to tell you all is that I'm making money in my sleep as this war goes on, and that all of us could be doing it too if we were in a world that taught us how to thrive. So I've had to do this on my own, and now I'm just bringing this information back to our people that this is something that we all can do. And so this is what I'm just showing people, and this is not a demo account. This is a live account. You see, it says live. Hugo's Way live. This is real money. The other thing that I'm in right now, Brother Red Pill and Anthony, is I'm in silver. Okay. You see where I'm at with silver. I'm 2,800 pips up. This is my entry with silver, and the price has just gone up.
Okay. Let me just say this to the audience. Normally, you would have to pay on Heru Trades, Bob's subscription, but you're listening and you're getting it free today. But there's a subscription that you purchase.
Yeah, for people who want to follow my trades, but it's only for people who know how to trade already. This is not for beginners.
Right.
I would never ask you to do a subscription if you don't even know how to set up an account.
That's right.
So this is not because you'll just be losing money, you'll be wasting money. This is for people who've been doing this for some time, but I figured out my own system. So I just let people follow my trades, right? Now, I'm also in the I was in Japanese. I'll get back into the Japanese, but I'm in Ethereum as well. So if you see me in Ethereum, I'm 7,000 pips up. Okay. So I'm making money on all of this. I'm also in the Euro US dollar, where the Euro is climbing against the US dollar, because the US dollar now is in question because of it being on trial for the petrodollar, where people are moving away from the petrodollar. So the Euro is overtaking the US dollar. So now I'm making money off of that. Okay. The point of the matter is, y'all, that we don't have to be victims at all of the situation that we're in that is nothing to do with our decisions. We wake up in the morning, we find that these folks are at war. We wake up in the morning, we find that they've made these decisions that's going to impact the earth. So the bottom line is that I position myself, I put my money where my mouth is, I teach myself these systems. But what you need to do is, if you want to learn this stuff, I have some videos on YouTube, particularly investing in stocks and how I invest in stocks. I have some videos as well on how I do Forex. You can contact me. I'll just give you the links. They're free to watch. You can just see what's going on. But the point of the matter is this. I'm not asking anyone to do what I do. I'm asking you to consider how you treat your money and what you've been missing out on. In that once you start looking at the numbers, you start realizing that we've completely been sold a bill of goods around education that's not useful for us. We've been trained to become working slaves. And the bottom line is, as much as you are a consumer, if you're an hourly wage person, please understand that if you are going to buy a designer pair of jeans, those, I don't know, they make Gucci jeans. I just saying Gucci, that Gucci bag or whatever that people like to buy because it says Gucci or it says whatever name brand, and it costs $800, let's say, or $400, and you're making $20 an hour. You know what you just did? You just worked 20 hours for Mr. Gucci, because it takes you 20 hours to make $400. So what you've done now is you've contributed 20 hours of your labor in your life to purchasing something that's $400. So what we find out is that most of us end up working for other people twice. Mm-hmm. When you're working for other people as an employee and you're working for other people to buy their goods. And nowhere do you have in the equation where you're making profit off of them and they're making profit off of you. My life has changed since I became an investor. I make money off of Amazon. Mm-hmm. I don't give Bezos money. I make money off of his stock and cash it out to do my projects that I'm doing in Africa, because that's what I think is necessary to be done in terms of the development of our people. You do whatever you want with the money that you make, but at the end of the day, you have to change your relationship. We have an abusive relationship with these companies, but no one's taught you that you can actually invest in these companies. Let's just look at Facebook real quick. We're being broadcast on Facebook right now. There are a lot of people who spend a lot of their time on social media arguing with people.
That's right. About
celebrities and XYZ, right? So let's just look at Facebook and the amount of time that people spend on Facebook. And let's just say that if you invested in Facebook instead and had a relationship with Facebook that was not a one-way relationship, I want to see how much money you'd have made. Okay, so if you'd have put $10,000 into Facebook and you kept it in there for 5 years, I'm about to share this with you all. You would have made double your money, 100% on your money, just keeping it there, as opposed to Bank of America. You just doubled your money in your sleep. You didn't touch it, you just left it there. But let's just say that you put your money to Facebook when it first made an IPO.
It's the max.
Yeah, you would have made 15 times your money, 1,400%. You made 15,000, so that 10,000 would be $150,000. How much time have you all spent on Facebook posting selfies, what you ate today, telling people how you feel about Jay-Z or Beyonce, arguing with people about Trump on Facebook, where you're logging on to Facebook and every hour you spend or minute you spend on Facebook actually makes Facebook stock price rise, because they're able to charge more money for more user time for their advertisers. Advertisers pay a premium based on the amount of users and amount of user time that is spent on Facebook. That's how Facebook monetizes itself. So Facebook has been monetizing you, but have you been monetizing Facebook? Are you using Facebook to advertise your business or to talk about your business? And so for people to know, hey, they can buy this from you instead of buying it from somebody else. Are you using Facebook to actually invest in Facebook stock and make 15x your money, where that money now would be $150,000 if it was $10,000? See, is because we haven't been trained to think this way. A lot of us are on YouTube, spend a lot of time on YouTube, which is owned by Google. We can go into Google. Let's look at Google stock. Google stock over the past year is 92%. So in 1 year, you'd have made double your money by just putting your money into Google stock. You'd have made double your money and just held it there for 1 year. And this is going to happen year after year after year, y'all. These companies aren't going away. If you'd have had money in Google and held it there for 5 years, you'd have made 3x your money. If you'd have invested in Google since the beginning of Google in 2004, when they first got listed, this is 11,000%, which is 120x your money. Or no, yeah, that's 120x your money, y'all. So that $10,000 just times 10 times 120. 10,000 times 120. $1.2 million. That's what you'd be sitting on if you invested in Google in 2004. You see, these numbers start becoming ridiculous when you start looking at this. And so the point of the matter is that your children should know this. You should know this. And then you can decide whether you want to do this and decide this is something you want to get into. But what I'm going to tell you is that I'm leveraging, the American stock market is there, and American financial system has not been fair to our people. And if you want to get reparations, this is a way that you can get your own reparations. Like, instead of waiting for people to give you reparations, you can actually engage in this activity and put that money, instead of having it in the banks, which are giving you 0.01%, you can actually put it into some of these stocks that you are patronizing anyway, in the form of attention, time, and money, and reverse your relationship with them. Instead of being a consumer, you can actually be an investor and take that money out whenever you want to take it out. And if you want to cash that $1 million, you hit sell, and that money's in your account in 3 seconds. This is why I prefer the stock market.
We approaching 2 hours on our end. We got to close out for the next program, WSYPLP 95.1. It's been a pleasure, man, having Red Pill and his audience on. Brother Heru, we're going to close out and close us out on our end. We'll see you Monday.
Yeah. So, I hope this was helpful just for us to kind of lay a template as to what I do. I can only share about what I do. I'm not saying my way is the only way, but I'm just sharing with you all what has been helpful for me and has created financial independence for me for a long time, where I don't have to work for anybody. I sleep when I want. I wake up when I want. I travel when I want. I do what I want. Like, it just is what it is. My wife doesn't have to work if she doesn't want to work. My children will never have to apply for a job. And basically, I have freedom. It's because I decided to pay attention to money over a decade ago. And I started taking this very seriously. And it has paid off for me, and it can pay off for you too. On Monday, we'll be here talking about health, and we'll be doing a simulcast as well. Tell your friends, let them know. Go to herbalresults.net if you want to look at our testimonials before Monday. If this is your first time being exposed to what we do, go to herbalresults.net, go to testimonials. You'll see over a dozen cancer reversals from all different types of cancer. Prostate cancer, endometrial cancer, brain cancer, lung cancer, breast cancer. You'll see all those reversals. You'll see high blood pressure reversals. You'll see diabetes reversals. It's all there. And on Monday, we'll be covering health. And so That's 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we have come together like Voltron. And any of you all who have channels who think that this would be helpful, you can come in and share as well, because the more of our people get this information, health and wealth, the better off we'll be as a people. Instead of being perpetual complainers about our situation, we're going to actually be fix-it men and women, where we actually fix our situations and help our people fix their situations when it comes to health and when it comes to wealth. So I'd like to salute Brother Anthony and Sankofa Revolutionary Radio, Brother Red Pill and Know the Ledge Media Empire, and the listeners will be even more robust next week.
That's right.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, spread the word and, take the advice that's being delivered to you and do something with it. Like the good brother Heru introduced, kinetic knowledge is what's been missing. Kinetic knowledge separates the quote unquote student from the actual teacher. It is definite. We're in the spring season. So this is about springing forward and doing actionable things. Okay. So every Monday and every Wednesday in the rising, you will be pleasantly gifted with these jewels that are being delivered by my good brother, hands down.
Ashe. I don't have anything to add to that. Ashe. All right. We're out of here, brother. Heru.
All right. Someone asked where we can be found on Monday. Same channel that you tuned into. We're going to be broadcasting on YouTube, Facebook, and all of that. So just tune in to wherever you're tuning in now. Just tune in Monday, 9 a.m. EST, and we'll be doing the same thing. Thank you all.
All right. Thank you. Good day.
Indeed. Thank you all. Peace, love, and light.
Diamonds is dancing like they up in disco. You niggas in fist bump, you stay up at dip low. You niggas stay up and get low. Heard you way up in Frisco, and you say what the heck so. Every player gets sniff nose, acting gay up in Cisco. Like take the day off and play up at Mistos, causing chaos and play up Calypso. I paused in kitchens and caused addictions. I paused prescriptions and caused inflictions. Lil Bigs be playing in stores and bricks and on the dark web. You gotta pause every doors, cause encryptions. Tesla engines, pause the pistons. I seen every floor I leave sore and listing. For that action, they sponsored the Bronson. They was hooked on that shit like Johnson and Johnson. That freeway, Ricky Ross, straight out of Compton, straight out of Bompton. Red on blue, violence in the land. The projection of the will, the perfection of the kill, the reflection of the pills. I'm a frontline soldier, I'm no doja. These crystals not from focus and crypto. Diamonds is dancing like they up in disco. You niggas in fist bump, you stay up.